Hey, what's up? Otaku Mike here. Let's talk about We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, issue number 1. So, issue number 1 starts off with a young girl named Annalise. She's about 13 years old, give or take, and she is what seems to be trying to get away from these robots. We end up finding out that she's actually playing hide and seek with these robots because her dad seems to not really have time for her. So he gets all these robots to basically babysit Annalise. After she loses the game of hide and seek with the 2 robots, she ends up going to her dad's laboratory and she's looking and see what he's actually doing in there. And he's like, whoa, what are you doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here. I'm working on some highly classified stuff that could change the world. But sadly, Annalise's father does not have time for her, and that's her biggest problem, is he doesn't have time for her, and they kind of get into a little bit of a fight, and she convinces him to play hide and seek with her. So while playing the game of hide and seek, Annalise ends up in the basement where she is told not to go by her father. She ends up finding this guy down there in the basement that her dad he's held hostage. And while talking to this guy, her dad shows up and he's like, "Get out of here, not supposed to be in here." And she goes to her room and she's mad at her dad for ruining the game of hide and seek. While ignoring her dad ends up showing up with some food, and they end up talking about what her dad is actually doing. He's actually working against this organization called Veil, who actually killed Annalise's mother prior in the past. And they kind of have like an understanding, like, okay, like you kind of do what you got to do. But he asks her specifically, "Hey, did you touch the device that the man had?" And she said no, but she actually lied to her father. We come to find out that this guy he has held hostage is actually a spy for Veil, and they end up sending the operatives to actually go kill Annalise's father. And the issue ends in a big explosion with Annalise's father supposedly dead, and all that is left is Annalise and this one specific robot that has saved her. All right, so let's take a look at the internal artwork. Here is your creative team right there. I have to say, the artwork in this I really do like. They do a very good job of telling this story. All the colors that they use, the way they frame things in the art, and how the art moves and stuff, and the panel layouts are really well done. I love the robot designs as well. This kind of oddly reminds me of like the art style in iZombie a little bit, how it has like that flat look to it. But a very, very creative world that they've started to build in this. Like, it's really, really amazing. I love this scene where she's looking through like the glass into her father, and she like kind of is scared, but very much like this is an interesting world that they place a 13-year-old girl into. And I can't really go past more of this because we get to the adult scenes in this. But yeah, pretty awesome artwork, if I do say so myself. I have to say, I did actually really enjoy this first issue for the most part. One thing this does is set up a really interesting world that we've kind of never really seen before, this pseudo-futuristic world with spies and stuff like that. I did like that. I did like a lot of the characters in this, except for Annalise's dad. Annalise's dad is kind of a jerk. But this comic does one thing: it makes you care about the main character, Annalise, and the shitty situation that she's in. And it very much left me on the hook of wanting to know what is going to happen next after the cliffhanger that they have at the end of this particular issue, because I want to see how Veil, the spy organization, fits into this and why they're actually going after Annalise's dad and trying to kill him. What did he do? And will we see Annalise learn about this? And what will she do in retaliation to them killing her father potentially? I don't know. It just seems like a big revenge story, which I personally am here for. I do have to say, I did feel like there was a little bit of a pacing issue in this, because this very much was all set up, but I did feel like it dragged a little bit in the middle, specifically when we had, which was a big part in this, is Annalise talking to her father. Like, and him trying to explain stuff. Like, I already did not like him as a character because he basically did not like really seem to care about his daughter. He just kind of pushed her aside and let the robots take care of her, and he just was very much a man of his work. And that didn't ring well to me, to be honest. And I was more on Annalise's side. I thought he should have just shut up and just spent time with her. And maybe, you know, his science work was not that important as he thinks it is. But I digress, you know. But this series was this issue was really well done. Not a lot of action in it at all, really. A tiny little bit of action, mostly just set up. There is some adults scenes in here, so if you're under the age of 18 or you don't like adult situations or scenes in your comic books, this probably won't be for you. But I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I think everybody should go check it out. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Otaku Mike. I'll catch you guys on the next video.